Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Fire Force, episode 13. And that means that next episode, next week's reaction, is going to be the last one before we go on break. So just as a reminder, we are taking a break after episode 14 for Fire Force, just to kind of clear our minds. It's going to end an arc, and so we're going to have a time to just clear ourselves and get back into things without making this series kind of feel like I'm just growing tired of it, basically. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to feel like I'm growing tired of it. I don't want to feel like it's getting old for me. So I want to take a break to kind of rejuvenate myself towards it while checking out something else. And then we'll come back to Fire Force after. So yeah, next week will be our final Fire Force for the time. We'll get to something else, and then we'll come back to Fire Force. Same slot. And I'll talk more about that next week. But in the meantime, in the last episode, we had some intense confrontation because our captain of Company 7 overheard two of the White Clads disguised as Obi and Hinawa planning to take out the village, basically, and turn the people into infernals. And because the captain of Company 7 heard this, I can't remember his name right now, so I'm just calling him the captain of Company 7. But because he heard this, he got angry and went after the real Obi and Hinawa and tried to stop them, tried to attack them, because he believed that, they were going to attack the village and they were going to turn people into infernals, effectively killing them. Luckily, they had an alibi, and that is going to be checked on. But prior to that, the captain did attack them and almost used one of, if not his strongest ability. Which, considering he is the strongest captain, the strongest fire user in the Fire Force, that's saying something. So it's probably all going to go okay. The alibi is probably going to check out and everything. But it's kind of insane as to the fact that this could have gone very bad if not for the lieutenant of Company 7. He luckily stepped in right in time. But we did get to see a little bit of action between the companies last time, and we got to see how badass Obi can be even without powers. So that's always a positive. I've said it before, I'll say it again here. The characters are probably the biggest strength of this series. Like, yeah, the story is great. There is some wonderful story and lore and depth to it. But the characters are what add to this anime and make it truly great. Because you have pretty much everyone in Company A. In fact, I would say everyone in Company A, because Tamaki's not in Company 8, technically. Everyone in Company 8, I like, very much so. I like Obi, I like Hinawa, I definitely like Maki, and I definitely like the sister, whose name I can never remember. Iris, that's it. I remembered it right as I was saying that. But I love all of them. I love Shinra. And Arthur, I've grown a little more attached to. I don't hate him anymore. I don't hate him anymore by any means, but I'm still not the biggest fan. He's definitely the weakest link of Company 8 for me. And I like a lot of the other characters too. I adore Princess Hibana. She's definitely best girl. With Maki as a very, very close second. and so on and so forth. I love this Joker guy who we've seen a couple times. I love the characters of Company 7. It's just like they're so well done. And I just really like that. I like the characters we saw from Company 1. Even the guy who turned out to be an asshole working for the White Clads and the Evangelist. I still like his character. He's still well written, but it's like the fact that most of these characters are so good is a huge positive here, and it definitely drives the series forward for me. Like, I mean, yeah, there's some weak links like Tamaki, of course, who is literally just there to be a walking like fan service joke practically the entire time, with a couple small moments of actual character. But it's like the fact that she is an outlier and that most of the characters in this, especially the female characters, are so damn good. That's that's saying something, and that allows me to kind of handle this series having a character like Tamaki in it. Because she is easily the worst character in this, in terms of writing and in terms of like actual characterization and all. Not just in terms of like, oh, she's a shit person. Because no, she's definitely not the worst in that case. um, but yeah, it's like the characters drive this, and I'm really interested to see how the last two episodes of this arc go, because there's two episodes left, yet it seems like the issue's going to be resolved. So the White Clads who are there have got to probably do something else. Maybe we'll get a full on fight with them specifically. We'll see. But in the meantime, we're just going to get this started, hope for the best, and see how this episode goes. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, continuing off of the last one, we apparently have a bunch of imposters within the town, and we find out how it happens. Apparently, someone with the White Clads has the ability to use fire to change around the structure of someone's face somehow. It honestly makes very little to no sense at all. But whatever. um so there's been a lot of impersonations, a lot of people started fighting, and there's a lot of confusion and chaos going on because of it. And in the midst of it, I think there were 6 infernals that they also made, not counting the suicide bomber infernals, who there's one at least, maybe 2 of now. So it's like a lot of chaos is happening. These White Clads are definitely going all out in this attack. We get to see our heroes, both from companies 7 and 8, taking them on and doing what they can to handle the situation, but things are fucked. Like one of these people even disguised himself as one of the twin girls. We don't know where the actual girl is, but yeah, he disguised himself as her and had taken her place. And luckily, Arthur could somehow tell. It never explained how he knew, but he could somehow tell, and he managed to do right there. But the old man uses one of the bugs on himself, becoming a suicide bomber, basically turning himself into an infernal, so he can't be interrogated any further. Fortunately, they stop him from fully turning, take him out beforehand, but still, it's like the fact that they're willing to go this far. Then we have like the two kind of main white clads in this situation. There's this female archer and this big strong guy who's kind of defending her. And while Arthur and Shinra have some trouble at first, fighting together because they're idiots, um, they manage to work out a plan, and it tends to work out pretty well in the end. However, the big guy tells the archer to leave and then eats one of the infernal bugs. We don't see yet what that does. Is that just going to turn him into infernal, or does eating it create the special infernal? It's got to be one or the other. It's just got to be a regular infernal or the special one specifically. Because otherwise, we still don't know how the special one is created. But that's the only thing I can think of. It was very much drawn attention to, so I feel like it has to be something different. It has to be something different than a normal infernal, and what else would it be? In the meantime, we see that Benimaru is having trouble gaining control of things because of all the imposters, and the lieutenant is trying to get him to lead and everything, but nothing's just working out. So Benimaru goes off to try and instead take care of the infernals that have popped up. Basically, everything's gone to shit. And it's like the White Clads are technically winning in a lot of ways right now. So we got one more episode to go in this arc. I'm not sure where this is going to lead. I'm not sure how this is going to conclude. I'm very much interested, though. This arc has been actually pretty fantastic. Like, I would say this is one of the best arcs in the series so far. Right up there with the Princess Hibana one. But I'm really hoping they stick this landing. Because if there's only one episode to go, they really gotta get to it next time. It looks like they're about to chase off the bad guys. So the archer's probably gonna head away. The big guy is likely done at this point. He seems to be turning himself into an infernal to some degree. It seems like most of this is going to be taken care of, but it's just so insane everything that's happening. So we'll have to see if it actually fully gets concluded next time. But either way, we are still calling it next time. We're still going to take a break. I feel it's just going to be needed to keep this series from becoming stale for me. We will come back to it after we check out something else in its place, though. So, in the meantime, tell me what you thought of this episode of Fire Force down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.